We've survived the wedding. Even though we had snow and really cold weather, it was a beautiful wedding, and we are so glad for it to be over, but we had such a joyous time. Just a lot of the stress and the emotion, we're glad that part's over. It was a very busy week, but everything come together just beautifully. And Corie will be, and Katie will be showing a video on their channel of the wedding ceremony. So if you're interested in that, please be on the lookout for that. And the name of their channel is the Pressley Girls.
So something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. So old is this rock. And this is a rock that my grandpa gave me. Something new is, well, the dress, but I'm not wearing the dress just yet. Something borrowed is these earrings that Donna let me borrow. And something blue is gonna be this blue ribbon.
So when I say we had snow, we didn't have very much snow. We have what we call a skiff of snow, which means not very much snow, enough to kind of cover the edge, the top of your deck or the tops of your cars, maybe lay a little bit in the grass, a little bit on the roof eaves, but not really any accumulation on the roads or anything like that. So it was just a skiff of snow. It was very cold. When we left the house yesterday morning to go to the wedding, it was 30 degrees. In a couple of hours, it was more like 25 degrees. The temperature was going down. So it was a very cold day, and then we had a ferocious wind, just ferocious wind blowing. So at times the mountains were really beautiful when the snow was whipping around, and the venue that we had the wedding at was really the home of a dear friend, Michael and Donna. It was just beautiful because you can see the mountains and you could see the snow whipping around them. So it was just a lovely day, even though it was extremely cold and we did have snow. I've been wanting it to snow all winter, a big snow. We've had a couple of snows. It was maybe the most, might have been 3 inches, maybe a few skiffs, like I said this one was. But I've been wanting it to become a big snow all winter. By this time of the year, when it gets to be March, I'm like, okay, well, if it's not going to snow, I'm done with that. I'm done with winter. I just want it to be warm. You know, I'm thinking about planting, and I've got seedlings in the house, and I need to start my seedlings in the greenhouse, and we've got all the beds cleaned up, and we're ready to go. You know, I'm more excited about being outside, so I'm kind of over hoping for that snow. Last weekend, we went on Corie's last hike with us. It was beautiful, perfect weather, but I know that's how March is. We had that beautiful weather, and then yesterday we had the blustery, cold, snowy weather for Corie's wedding. It's really common. I hope I can do another video about this, but in Appalachia you hear about this time of the year you'll hear older people saying, well, we know it's not summer yet, even on those wonderful warm days, or it's not really spring of the year yet. It's not really here yet, even though it's given us a little taste, because we still have the little winters to go through. And there's a lot of different little winters. Probably the most popular or the most common that you hear people talk about are blackberry winter and dogwood winter, which just means that when the dogwoods are blooming, you can just count on it that it's going to be really cold. You're going to have a little cold snap. Now, not as cold as we had it last night. Like I said, we woke up this morning, it was 13 degrees. Not that cold generally, but just cold, you know, a little cold spell. The same when the blackberries bloom. You'll have a little touch of cold weather, and those we call blackberry winter and dogwood winter. And there's other winters too, so I hope to do a video maybe about those. But even though the weather was you know, not what we would have preferred, it just was a beautiful, lovely wedding. And a lot of you and a lot of different people from the Blind Pig and the Acorn commented and sent me emails and shared with me, I guess because you'd seen the weather, said, don't worry, if it snows, that's just a sign of good luck. That means there's many blessings falling. So don't be concerned if it does snow. So every time we would worry about the weather, I would say, now remember, they say that it's blessings if it snows. So that was right. It turned out to be just a wonderful day, even with the snow. Of course, we had friends and family there. I was really glad that Granny got to go. She wasn't sure if she would feel up to it. And then when the weather was going to be bad, I was afraid that she might not either, and maybe she shouldn't get out in that cold weather. But she come and had a great time, enjoyed herself. So I was really thrilled that she was there. The host that hosted the wedding, Donna and Michael, we could just never ever repay them and their family who helped us. I mean, there's just so many loose ends that they helped us figure out and decorate. From decorating to parking cars, they did it all. So we were so grateful to them. Pastor Lon, many of you may know Pastor Lon, and if you don't, you should definitely go check out his channel, The Homesteading Pastor. So we met Pastor Lon and his lovely wife, Robbie Lynn, about 2 years ago. And we kind of met them online and had a connection, and then we got to meet them in person a couple of times, so we just really developed a strong bond with them, and that's who Corie and Austin got to meet them too. They wanted Pastor Lon to perform their wedding, and he did. He drove a long way to come to do it, so we were so thankful to get to spend time with them. He done a wonderful job at the wedding, and everyone just adored him that met him, and Robbie Lynn, our whole family, our extended family that got to meet him, and all of our friends and family, or Austin's family as well. So that worked out really well. And then they got to stay a little bit. So we've had wonderful fellowship with Robbie Lynn and Pastor Lon. Even this morning I cooked breakfast for them before they headed back home to where they live in South Carolina. So we really enjoyed them being here. And if you would, please, I encourage you to visit their channel. And I will put the link to their channel in the description below so that you can easily find it if you've not already visited them. Although it was a happy day for all of us, and it was just a beautiful ceremony and lots of love there, you could see not just between Austin and Corie, but between Austin's family and our family, and friends and neighbors who come from afar, or some that come from just down the road. It was just had a really good sweet spirit about the whole day. It's something that we're not used to. We're not used to being dressed up. Matt had a suit on. He's probably not had a suit on in maybe not since our wedding. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him. Maybe at Pap's funeral, maybe he wore a suit then. I can't really remember what he wore, but I don't even think he wore a suit that day. Anyway, we're just not people that dress up. I had a long dress on, things that we're not used to. We're certainly not used to the other people being dressed up like that, and kind of the really a more formal feeling, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It was very nice and we enjoyed it. But it's something different for us, something totally out of the box than we usually are accustomed to. So it was nice, though, to see everyone so dressed up, and to see the beautiful colors, and see everyone just there united together to really support Corie and Austin in their future. There was a lot of tears, of course, as you might guess. A lot of sweet moments. We had great music by friends, Jero and Jonah. So, I mean, wonderful music and good food. We had good food for people that are local. Julie's place in Peachtree, Julie's, they did the food, and it was wonderful. Corie will tell you more about all this, and if you watch their videos, I'm sure you already know more about it, about the details behind the wedding, kind of, and she will share more of the actual ceremony. But there was just so many little special details that seemed to come together. There, from Corie taking the little rock that Pap gave her, that was for something old, to one of our friends we met years ago, Patty Tapel. She had made Corie a lovely quilt, and I'm sure if you've watched Corie's videos, you've probably seen it, but she fixed it where that each people that come to the wedding could sign it, and then we can send it back to her, and she will quilt it, and then she will send it back to Corie and Austin. And of course, it has their name on it and the date of their wedding. So many little touches like that. Another little touch that I thought was especially sweet, during all of our planning, we could have never planned this wedding without Donna, our friend Donna. She basically pointed and showed us and give us thought, what about this, and let us pick. We had no clue what to do. But, we know that typically a lot of times at weddings they give out favors to the people who come. Well, we thought about 2 or 3 different things. When Matt and I got married, I wrote out some Bible verses on a little scroll and scrolled it up, and we handed that to people. I guess that was what was in style back then. But nothing just seemed right. So I said, well, you don't have to do that. Nobody expects you to give them anything, But Corie and Katie come up with they kept coming back to the rocks, thinking about rocks, of course, because we're a rock family, and being so close to the creek. So they decided they were going to give everyone a rock. Well, I said, well, yeah, you just put a little, like, rocks in a little bowl, and maybe say take a rock, and as a symbol of remembrance for Austin and Corie uniting together in marriage, uniting these two families together, and throw it in your flower bed or whatever when you get home, and you just think about it, that it's out there. I said, yeah, that'll be sweet. Well, again, our friend Donna come through for us, so we told her that, and she said, okay, yeah, sure, that sounds great. And she was going to had a basket for us to put the rocks in or whatever. So when we come back the next day, though, as you might imagine, it took all week planning, being there, decorating, doing different things for the wedding. She had thought about it overnight and really been thinking about the rocks. So what we did was we tied them, each rock, up in a little piece of tulle, and we have a little card that says Corie and Austin Graddick and the date of the wedding. But then on the back, she had thought, we just hadn't thought about it, she had put the Bible verses, Psalms 18, 1 through 3, which say, I will love thee, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler and the horn of my salvation and my high tower. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. So she thought that up, and we should have. We were just so in the mindset of, how are we going to accomplish all this? And, it's just so much emotion and all that. We couldn't do anything but cry all week, really. But Donna thought of that, and then once she said, what do you think? I was like, perfect. Bless you, perfect. Another thing that you found that fit perfectly with our family, that of course fit perfectly for the rock, but another just little tidbit that made the day so special. So from the rocks with the wonderful Bible verse, but again, the rock from Stamy Creek that's part of us, to the little rock that Corie had that was Pap had give her that she carries everywhere. And even to the snow, which, turned out we were so worried when I got up that morning. I thought, am I going to get up to 6 inches? Will there even be anybody there? But it was just enough to make it was just beautiful. I mean, just stunning to see from the view from the house there, to see the mountains and to see the snow swirling around. It was just lovely. So we had a skiff of snow and a wedding, and I don't think it could have been any better. I'm glad that it happened that way. We have a few extra of these left over. So we don't have enough to send everybody one, of course, but if you're interested in having one of these, please leave a comment and let me know, and I'll draw a couple, 4 or 5 out, and we'll send them to you. And the girls are going to do that on their channel as well, so be sure to look on the Pressley Girls channel in the coming days if if you want to make sure, you want to try twice. But we'll be glad to send you a piece of Stamy Creek, but also a piece of our skiff, our wedding and a skiff of snow day that we all enjoyed here in the mountains of Appalachia. And I know so many of you have asked so many questions about the wedding and even about where Corie and Austin are going to live. They're not going to live very far away. They will be close, so they will continue to be part of our videos, but also part of our day-to-day life, our family, and I'm really thankful for that. But it is different, There has been a bittersweet sadness to it, because although she's not far away, and she helps me a lot, so she'll be back over here certainly. Her and Katie play music together. There's so many reasons for her to be over here a lot, actually, at our home. It's still different. She won't be in the bedroom down the hallway, She won't be here when I get up in the morning. So all those kind of things are it's bittersweet. I'm so happy for her in Austin, but there's a bittersweetness to it. So there was lots of tears yesterday. If I better quit talking now, there'll be some tears today too, so I better hush there. But thank you for coming along with our journey here in Appalachia, helping me celebrate Appalachia for sure, but also being part of our family. You've already got to know each of us, and if you watch their channel, you've kind of been along for this whole journey of Corie and Austin getting married, and we really appreciate that. And be sure to leave the comment if you're interested in one of the rocks, and continue to please drop back by and help us celebrate Appalachia, all parts of our life here in the mountains of Appalachia.